Hi, I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. We are coming to the end of our 11th season, and we wanted to honor some of the legends that we have known along the way. So stay tuned and join us. This very wonderful, proud conversation with our one and only Stacey Jackson, a graduate of the Albany State University, a wonderful, successful attorney, now our new district attorney, and we have to just brag about this all over the world. No, I was talking to Mary Dorothy Hubbard, who was a former mayor of Albany, and she remembered you from being a student at Albany State because she was the registrar or something back then. And she had nothing but great things to say about your work and study habits, and you were committed. The only little thing we know that you did was you pledged Omega, but at the plots and all of that over there on the old campus is what we call it now, and that's where people hung out and all of that. That's the only thing that we know that you did, but we knew you did your work.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Always.
And so she was very, 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 very proud of you and your success. And so the experience on the campus, of course, my spouse is a graduate of the military academy. So the first time he went there, it was just, the parade, to see all of the people stepping around the plots and all of that. And if you've never experienced that with the HBCU, it's just something unto itself.
It's just something that it's hard to describe.
It really is.
It's something that you feel.
Yes.
It's
almost like being at church almost.
Yes.
It is a spirit. And the camaraderie and the love, even all the years later. Of course, I've seen you go to homecomings and I follow you on social media and I'll see you all around the plot. But I remember when the pledgees during homecoming back in the day, they would have the pledgees with the doing all kind of things.
Doing all the cooking and running around. And all I know. All the tailgate.
Exactly, but if you've never experienced that, it's just something.
Yeah, it's just a very, that HBCU experience is just something that cannot be duplicated.
It can't.
You just have to feel it. The football game, the band,
yes,
the rivalry, like with Albany State versus Fort Valley. So
right.
even though we have that rivalry, it's like a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, we're only kind of step brothers and sisters during the classic.
Yeah.
After that, we're family.
That's it.
We're family.
We're
right.
family.
Yeah.
We're family. It's just two institutions, just for example, that are educating young men and young women. Those just, it's like family, like those individuals that are like us, that look like us, and we're trying to do those positive things and start these careers of these young men.
And then we support each other.
And support, exactly.
We do, and it's like generational. I know I have friends that graduated with me from Albany State, and then their children, like you, and now like your son is there, and now their children, and then of course the McGee's, we had the mother, and she was an educator in Albany. Then Daryl, she was an educator, now she's retired. Her daughter Talisa, she went. Now her daughters, she has two daughters there.
Wow.
And yes, you can go somewhere else, but besides the education, you get a sense of family.
Yes.
So when you all go back and you pledge Omega when?
My sophomore year, 1993.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go back to homecoming and y'all go around that plot, it's like stepping back into a time machine.
Yes.
It's like your brothers, you all just pick up just where you left
off. If I
off.
haven't seen them in years, and in those lines that came before me, but also is coming back with the camaraderie, but also we go back to shared experiences with one another, even with just my own personal player spirit in my own line. We've got a nurse anesthetist on our line.
Really?
Yes, individual that owns a trucking company, former probation officer. We just have just a knowledge of sharing with one another. So it's not just pledging and just being on the line just for that short period of time. It's a lifelong experience. It's a lifelong sharing with one. And
it's a love.
Yes.
There's a love, and you you can't describe it to people, and they'll think that we're over exaggerating it.
No, it's just like I said, it's just so hard to describe. One of my classmates, Kier Bradford, may be running for attorney, who's a fellow lawyer, who may be running for attorney general in the state of Philadelphia.
Really?
Next year. She's a Delta, one of my classmates. So just being able to support her and support other classmates that are doing all different things around the country is just so nice to have. And see, our people are not just stuck in Georgia. No. Our reach, when we say our National Alumni Association, it is national. Yes, it's national. We even have people international. And that I found that out. Because people go on work assignments, and they're working in other countries and doing other things. They might be defense contractors and things like that. And then you see them on social media that's like, they're trying to make it to Dorter County for homecoming. No, really. And people think we're exaggerating. And I'm like, well, if they do that at the other schools, our people can do that too. All the opportunities are there. My frat brother Bryce is in Hawaii. My line brother is in Germany doing defense contract work. So I mean, we're not limited. Is nationwide and worldwide. Exactly. But they trained us up that way. Yes. And so when you were at Albany State, now where did you live? Tell me about your dorm. Because see, now it's all, we had one phone on the hall. Oh, one phone. Right, and it was a pay phone. And then it just, on Friday, you just let it hang because, for those people that was not going to keep up with the curfew, you don't want the parents to know. I'm just saying that's how it was, And on Sunday night, by 6 o'clock, you hang the phone back up. So if you have called, people hollering down the hall. So when you were there, we at least had phones in the rooms, but I lived next door to McIntosh. I was without. But that was athletes. Yeah. So I lived in the dorm next door, even though I played baseball. But I was it Blaylock? Blaylock Hall. Oh, see, Blaylock was still there. Okay. Yeah. But I wasn't on I was on an academic scholarship versus athletic scholarship. So all the athletic scholarship players stayed at McIntosh. Right. And then I stayed in Blaylock, just right next door. Right. So it was just so you were actually, that was a newer dorm then. Yes. Because McIntosh was really kind of, Yeah, it was one of the It was legacy. Yeah. So anyway, you stayed over there, but you all didn't have that one phone. Right? Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah, inside. Yeah. No, really, but you know what? That could work both ways. You're a lawyer. So if your parents was looking for you, I had an excuse. Right. I said, well, my friend didn't call and bring me down to the phone. Exactly. Right. Okay. But the thing is, my grandfather, my dad grew up in Albany. So okay, so you had people. So they used to pop up every now and then. Oh, okay. For surprise visits. Oh, okay. So I had to always be on point. Oh, okay, I got you. Knew when they would pop up on the weekends. All right. You had supervision in the city. Okay. Yeah. All right, what we're going to do is go to our break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rimes-Bacote is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com. Hi, I'm Gloria Strode and welcome to Straightforward. Today we have a very special treat for you. Our international traveling friend, Dr. Brian Davis from the Georgia Aquarium. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I know you are jumping on and off planes, going all over the world, trying to make sure that the Georgia Aquarium is leading the way.
Absolutely.
So, how did you get to Atlanta? How did we find so much talent? Because your team, I've met everyone. I mean, we're talking 5-star, head and shoulders above the rest. I've seen them in action. So how did Georgia, Atlanta, end up with Dr. Brian Davis and his crew?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. It's actually been a pretty interesting journey getting here to Georgia Aquarium. As a kid, I spent a lot of time at the beach.
Oh, really?
A lot of time. I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. So the Jersey Shore.
Absolutely.
Okay, everybody knows that. Yes.
Wasn't quite that way back
Right.
then, but we spent a lot of time at the beach. My family spent every summer there. And it was a connection to the ocean. My mom did a lot of fishing, and we spent a lot of time just exploring the waters of New Jersey.
Really?
And
never thought it was going to lead to another career path.
Absolutely. Never in a million years would have thought that. But I made connections with the ocean and ultimately made the decision that I wanted to pursue a career in marine biology.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, that
and
was
non-traditional.
Absolutely.
Particularly for African Americans. Right.
Having that conversation with my mom and my father and my family was a little different. But I had a pretty wise professor that told me to pursue a career in environmental science with a focus in marine biology to give me some more options.
Really?
So right after college, I started working for the New York Aquarium. And then my wife and I decided we wanted to take the journey to the south and be a part of Atlanta. And,
you were escaping the snow.
Partly.
The snow, but it was an opportunity.
Absolutely. So we came down to Atlanta. I first worked for Zoo Atlanta, developing educational curriculum for them.
Really?
And then taught middle school, high school, and then the Georgia Aquarium opened up. And it was an amazing opportunity.
Wow. So when you come, you bring a broad range of experience.
Yes.
Because at the Georgia Aquarium, you all do so much. It's not just the tour. I was blessed to be a part of a group that came through, and it was more than I thought that it would be. We just thought we were walking through, we were just going to see, what was in the aquarium, but we had the opportunity to see behind the scenes. Then we learned you have a hospital, you have doctors. And we were blown away, and it was like, really? But those are the things that we take for granted. I mean, it really is one of the crown jewels of Georgia.
Well, I appreciate that, and you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't understand the scale and magnitude of the operation that we have at the Georgia Aquarium. And it was great that the Georgia Aquarium was established right here in the state of Georgia. It was not named the Atlanta Aquarium for a very specific reason.
Really?
We recognize and appreciate every resident of Georgia and the role that they played in making this a crown jewel. So it is the Georgia Aquarium for a reason.
Right. So thought was put into that.
Absolutely.
Right.
Along those same lines with the thought being put into it, before we started early on, I was hired number 8 on the project. And before you could actually start, you had to go visit other aquariums throughout the United States and the world to bring back the best and brightest ideas to integrate into the facility. So now we have that talent pool that you mentioned, because
it is phenomenal.
we were spending a lot of time meeting with people from all over the world to figure out how do we make sure we get it right. And at that time, we opened the world's largest aquarium, just under 28 months. And I remember the first time I found out we were going to have whale sharks there. It blew my mind.
So we are the largest aquarium.
At that time that we opened, we were the largest aquarium
Really?
in the world.
Wow.
So we have a few.
So that's still blazing another trail.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love Trailblazers. No, really, because that's how you leave your footprint and your mark. And so that team, you all searched high and low. The young lady that led us on the tour, she was a very young Caucasian.
Yes.
She was on it. I mean, she lived and breathed everything about the Georgia Aquarium. There was not a question. There was not a corner that we turned that she was not spot on.
One thing that we see time and time again with our staff is passion.
Right.
They are passionate about their jobs. These are not opportunities that are presented significantly throughout the world. So when you have an opportunity to be a part of connecting animals and people in that amazing environment, you find passionate people that are really committed to this work. And it's fantastic. You mentioned before about the hospital. A lot of people don't realize that every one of those animals within our facility, they have records that are kept about each one of those animals.
I know, that amazed me. And it appeared to be more precise than our regular physicians for normal people.
Absolutely.
No, and they were like, you had someone, one animal that had cataract surgery.
Absolutely.
And that just blew us away. We were like,
Absolutely.
so we know people have cataracts and get them removed, but we're doing that type of care for the animals in the aquarium.
The connection that we make with the animals that live at Georgia Aquarium is amazing. So when you see an animal doing something slightly out of the norm, we have our team come in and start doing some analysis to figure out.
So it's
hey,
like your kids.
Absolutely.
If they have a fever,
If they
then
have
you
a fever,
notice they're
yes.
really not feeling good.
Absolutely.
So the observation and the care is that intense.
Oh, it's intense because we have thousands of animals there. So our team always has eyes on the animals, making sure that if anything seems out of the norm, what do? We wind up taking that animal in, bringing them in for observation, and if there's any medical needs that need to take place, we have a surgical suite right there at the aquarium where we can actually go ahead and sometimes we bring in additional experts and we can do whatever procedures we have to do right there.
So we have surgeons for our animals at the Georgia Aquarium. And then we bring in other physicians should we need to consult.
Absolutely.
My goodness.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's world-class care. No, we can, people sometimes don't get that quality of care.
Absolutely. And we recognize that. But these are animals that are part of our Georgia Aquarium family. We take family.
Yes. Well, you could walk through. The place was pristine. The staff was spot on. People were courteous, professional, very comfortable in what their role was from the front door until we left in the parking garage. Now, people know me that watch this show. I don't blow smoke. It is called straightforward because that's exactly what I am, straightforward. But I was just so impressed, and that's why I was really excited when you decided you would come down and share, because I want the people of West Central Georgia and East Alabama to know and learn more, so we can bring some of our community children there.
We're excited about that opportunity.
Okay.
We are truly excited about having the guests come, and it is great to know you had an incredible experience at the Georgia Aquarium. That's what we strive for.
Right.
Each and every day, that is what we strive for, to make sure each and every one of our guests take something away that they couldn't get anywhere else.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, Dr. Davis, take our first break, go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Okay. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Columbus Pediatrics GA, working together to build lifelong relationships between our staff and patients by consistently providing compassion, excellence, and value with 2 locations. The Old Town office at 3580 Massey Lane, Suite F, 706-596-8667. The Midtown office, 1900 11th Avenue, Suite A, 706-323-3400, ColumbusPediatricsGA.com. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a 5-star commercial service with satisfied customers in Georgia and South Carolina, built on the principle that every detail matters. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a new season, building a family legacy. The Autism Hope Center. Diane Pope has dedicated the last 3 decades ensuring that families had support and resources for their loved ones on the autism spectrum. Join the Autism Hope Center for fellowship and resources, located at 200 Hamilton Road, Suite B, or call 706-604-6333. Muskogee County Coroner Buddy Bryan. Buddy has set high standards for himself and his staff, ensuring that every citizen is treated with dignity and respect, regardless of circumstances. Buddy cares about crime prevention and is always excited to speak with students and community organizations. Reach out to Buddy at 706-653-3260.
Colt 45, single shot. You had to cock it every time you shot. It's called a peacemaker, but I haven't seen much peace that it brought. No. The guys today have that full automatic. Pull the trigger and spray. History's a funny thing. They got us believing that Columbus discovered America and the Indians were already here. That's like me telling you, and you're sitting in your car, that I discovered your car. Then they want to call them the evil red savages because they didn't give up the car soon enough. There's one thing about time. No matter how much or how little passes, it changes things. People forget their past, and they forget the truth. But pictures don't lie. Forgotten gunslingers like Nat Love, Hyson Dart, Cherokee Bill, and troops too, like the 9th and the 10th. You see, people forget that almost 1 out of every 3 cowboys was black. Because when the slaves were freed, a lot of them headed out west, built their own towns. Shit, they didn't have much choice. In fact, over half of the original settlers of Los Angeles were black. But for some reason, we never hear their stories.
1 year before Jackie broke the color barrier, there was Kenny, Woody, Marion, and Bill. If you're asking who, you're not alone. Meet the men who integrated modern era pro football. So what's with this modern era qualifier? Get this, pro football actually allowed black players through 1933. But then this guy said, nah, and started a pact among owners to avoid signing any black players. A pact that lasted 13 years, until Paul Brown said, that I want to win. In 1946, the Browns signed Marion Motley and Bill Willis. And they didn't just win, they dominated. Racking up championships, accolades, and Hall of Fame honors. On the West Coast, it went down a little different. Rams owners weren't as eager to sign black players, but the Coliseum was publicly owned, and pressure from a growing black community mounted. Kenny Washington and Woody Strode were signed, reluctantly. Ironically, the 2 multi-sport phenoms out of UCLA shared the same backfield with another multi-sport phenom back in college. Yep, Jackie. The thing is, in baseball at 28 years old, you're entering your prime. Football at 28, you're lucky if you still have fully functional knees. So Kenny and Woody missed out on their best playing years in the pros. But just like Marion and Bill back in the East, they didn't miss out on the slurs, the death threats, the segregated hotel stays, the struggles that come with integration. How bad was it? Woody Strode said, if I have to integrate heaven, I don't want to go. What these 4 men did in 1946 took sacrifice, courage, and iron will. It paved the way for generations. It was the catalyst to what the NFL has grown into today. So why didn't these 4 men's stature grow along with the leagues? In a period of time for the game that gets swept under the rug, Kenny, Woody, Marion, and Bill get swept with it. But not anymore. Remember the 4, the forgotten 4.
When his final credits rolled in '94, Woody Strode was billed as a scholar, decathlete, World War II Army corpsman, UCLA Bruin, co-starring Jackie Robinson in the same backfield. Yes, the Jackie. He's also credited as LA Ram, NFL color barrier breaker, wrestler, gladiator, Prince Charming. Seriously, he married a Hawaiian princess. Best Supporting Actor nominee, A-lister, Black John Wayne, Black Filmmakers Hall of Famer, BAMFer. Take a bow. We're more than players.
Woodrow Wilson Woolwan Strode, the kind of name you remember once you hear it. Yet Woodrow Wilson Woolwan Strode integrated modern professional football, so a lot of NFL fans know the name. You definitely know the name Jackie Robinson, Woody Strode's multi-sport teammate at UCLA. The two phenoms shared the backfield with Finney Washington on the supremely talented Gold Dust Gang. Google it. Jackie obviously chose pro baseball, and baseball rightly celebrates him as the face of integration in this country. Woody stuck with football, broke the color barrier with the LA Rams a year earlier, and forget being the league's face of integration, he's not on the footnote. Here's another name you know, Spartacus, the film that garnered Woody a Best Supporting Actor nomination in Life After Football. How about this fella? Yep, named after Woodrow, aka Woody Strode. Hollywood isn't shy of honoring the same man, who also helped integrate the movie industry. So why doesn't the NFL acknowledge his role in this modern day integration? Maybe the league is still blushing about Black Jesus. Maybe it's because Woody only got to play one season with the Rams, thanks to a long-held pact by the owners to keep black players out of the game during his prime. Well, Woody obliterated that pact, and the discrimination that followed, for the generations and generational talent to come, a catalyst that catapulted the NFL into what it is today. Considering that, and all his other contributions to society, seems like the man deserves a shout out. Yet Woodrow Wilson Woolwan Strode is a name that isn't mentioned at all, until now. Remember the four, the forgotten four.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, straight forward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.